Joining me now, a man named Claston Bernard. He's the author of a new book called Outcast: No Room at the Table for Conservative Blacks in Black America. First of all, Claston, where? Well, I assume I know where, but what is Claston? Are you named for your dad or something? I've never seen that name.
Yeah, I have my dad's name actually.
Oh, that's freaking awesome. All right, what do you mean outcast? Why are you an outcast?
Well, the thing is, in Black America, you have to fit a certain narrative to be considered black. If you don't fit that narrative, then you're automatically branded not one of us.
What What do you mean? What do you have to do to fit in with Black America?
Well, I'm still trying to figure it out. As a black man, I don't know. You have to speak a certain language. You have to, you know, I will say this: as a human being, I deserve to be treated fairly. Which I get on a daily basis. I don't know what someone's intent are or what's in their minds. So I don't try to figure out what's going on in someone's head when I'm speaking to them. I am just me, and you just be you. Now, in Black America, they have this tendency to say, look, man, you know what? You speak well. If you're conservative, you can't be black.
Where does that come from, do you think?
I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out. If I knew the answer to that one, I think I'd be on a whole different platform. I just don't know.
How did you come to believe the things that you do believe?
Well, I was raised to follow the evidence. That was the first thing, not to allow my emotions to get in the way. And one of the things, even in the Christian religion, it is about pursuing truth. And my goal was to pursue the truth wherever it led to. There are always narratives. People have different experiences, and even with those experiences, we still have to look at the facts and make an informed decision. And there was a certain narrative that being black in America comes with a drawback. As an immigrant coming here, I should be the example of what it means to fail, because I came here as an immigrant. Not, I came here as a student athlete. I had to work hard to get myself into the status of becoming a professional to be able to enjoy what America has to offer. I had to get a college degree. I didn't have all the papers that I could just walk into this country and says, hey, I'm an American right away. You know what? I can go apply for a job. I can go, I can just go get Social Security. I couldn't do any of those things. And if you want to talk about Lyndon Johnson, when he said someone starting way back and they needed a start, that was me as an immigrant coming to this country. I came here with a backpack, a duffel bag, $300 and something in my pocket on a scholarship. That's how I started here. And it took a long time. It took hard work. It took me making the Olympics. To get to get that professional status. It took me getting a college degree.
Tell people what kind of athlete you are, for people who don't know you.
I was a decathlete. I represented Jamaica in 2 Olympics. I won the Commonwealth Games. I was NCAA champion, 4-time SEC champion. I had a pretty successful track and field career. Until injuries took it.
I guess that's mildly successful. Yeah, I guess that'll go down as doing okay. All right, I need you to shoot me straight on something. Be totally honest.
Uh-huh.
Do you have a good jerk chicken recipe or not?
Oh man. You know what? My father thinks so. My wife thinks so. So, I think they're the 2 most credible sources in my life in respect to that. So, I'll leave it at that.
What's next for you here? You gonna stay doing author things? You gonna move on and be a political pundit? You gonna go start a bank somewhere? What's next for you?
My thing is just to embrace life. One of the things I learned about track and field, sometimes when you look ahead, you tend to make mistakes instead of focusing what's right in front of you. My thing is this: they sold us a narrative about America, which there are always bits and pieces of truth that you can always pull from here or there. But is that should that be used as a stick to beat America into submission, to pay penance? As saying, what, America is just flowing with racism in their DNA and all that kind of stuff. I don't see that. And I have to stand and push back against that. And that's not saying there are not injustices. That's not saying there are not people who probably don't like me because of my ethnicity. It doesn't say, I'm not saying any of those things. But to say to me, an immigrant, a black man, a man with an accent that came to this country and says, you know what? Hey, I love what I see. And the opportunities here are limitless. All I had to do is to get myself in the right position to succeed. And I have to push. And my goal is I have two daughters, and I'm raising them to be Americans because that's who they are. And their skin color look like mine. And I will not feed them a victimization culture because 400 years of slavery or Jim Crow does not affect them. It has no bearing on them. What will affect them is what me and my wife will do to them. That will have a far greater impact on where they end up in life. And that's something that only exists in the history books. The reality is slavery was there. It's an ugly stain. Jim Crow was there. It's an ugly stain. There's some people still alive who dealt with slavery, not slavery, with Jim Crow. There are people who have been able to, and they have looked beyond that. Even during Jim Crow, they were able to make it through. And, it wasn't systemic. It was explicit. But to sell me and to tell me that I'm supposed to raise my young daughters as victims and to tell them that their color make them substandard or that the bar should be lowered for them at a certain level so they can feel good about themselves. No, I'm not about to do that. I'm not about to sell them that. I wasn't even told that coming from a country that, we didn't have these opportunities where bad government played a role in the way things are. So why should I come to America, the land of opportunity, the land that has given me so much, and I should just latch on to certain languages or certain verbiages because it's cliche. And you know what? It's Marxist. And I'm not a friend of the Marxist philosophy. So I'm not about to raise my daughter to buy into the Marxist philosophy. I'm going to raise her to respect Western civilization. Yes, there was slavery, but the British Empire and America dealt a serious blow to that. I will tell them that. I will educate them on the people, the good people, whether it was William Wilberforce, whether it was Thomas Jefferson, whether it was what would you say, one of my favorite as conservative, Booker T. Washington or Frederick Douglass. I will tell them that these people were able to overcome the odds. That's what I will tell them. That's the history I will tell them. I will not tell them their color make them inferior. I'm not about to have that.
Claston Bernard, go buy his book, Outcast. Buy it today. Appreciate you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, Jesse. Thank you.
He brings up some great points, people. It all starts at home, no matter what color you are. The truth of the matter is this. You raise your child, even if it's true, you raise your child to be a victim, you have mentally handicapped them for the rest of their lives. It's just a fact. All right. I'm going to sleep well tonight. You know why? I mean, I should.